Today we're going to look at classifying real numbers. We're going to divide those real numbers into 5 categories. We'll start with natural numbers, which I sometimes refer to as the hide-and-go-seek numbers. They start with 1, 2, 3, and so on. There's no decimals, no fractions, no negative numbers, no numbers that you would not use when playing hide-and-go-seek. The whole numbers are the natural numbers, plus we throw in 0. And they continue on, but again include no decimals, fractions, or negative numbers. The integers are where we expand a little bit further, and now we have the negative numbers included. Again, still no decimals or fractions, but we do have negative numbers this time. We know that rational numbers are part of the real numbers though, and these are where we include our fractions and decimals. So these rational numbers also include fractions and terminating, so meaning they end, or repeating decimals. So something like 0.33 repeating, which is equal to 1/3, is a rational number. Our last category of real numbers is kind of its own separate realm, are the irrational numbers. And these are real numbers that can't be written as a decimal or fraction. They neither repeat nor terminate if there is a decimal. I think a visual representation can be helpful. Notice down here, this diagram includes all the real numbers, and any number that I give you that is a real number, meaning it doesn't have an imaginary component, either has to be rational or it has to be irrational. But then inside the rational numbers, we can get a little more specific, and we can have what are referenced as Q, or I'm sorry, I drew my Q in the wrong place. Our rational numbers can be shown with the symbol Q. But then inside those rational numbers, we can get a little more specific, and we can have how we reference them, integers, as Z. And then an even smaller group, we could have the whole numbers. And then last but not least, we could have the natural numbers. Notice that if something is a natural number, it's also a whole, an integer, a rational, and a real. However, if something's rational, it may or may not be an integer, whole, or natural number. Notice something can't be both irrational and rational. A couple of tricks to watch out for. If you see anything over 0, doesn't fit into any of those categories, this is what's called undefined. And also be careful, irrational numbers are things like pi, e, the square root of 2, but just because you see a square root doesn't mean something's irrational. For example, the square root of 4, we can simplify to 2. Notice 2 is a natural number. It's also a whole number. It's also an integer, and it's also a rational number because we can write it as 2 over 1. Likewise, when you see a fraction, such as maybe 12 over 6, notice that can also be simplified to 2. So don't assume just because it's a fraction that it can't be a natural number. You have to simplify it first. That's a quick review and a lesson on classifying real numbers. Have a nice day.